Welcome, everyone, to week 5. Today, we're diving into something super important for our faith journey: prayer. Think of prayer not as a chore, but as a real conversation, just like you'd chat with a good friend. It's about opening up your heart and talking to God, who loves you more than anything. We'll explore what that really means and how we can make it a part of our everyday lives. It's not about fancy words or perfect sentences. It's about connecting with God in a way that feels natural and true to you. Let's get started by thinking about what prayer actually is. So, what is prayer, really? It's not just reading from a prayer book, though those are good too. Prayer is like having a heart-to-heart with God, sharing everything that's on your mind and in your heart. It's a two-way street. We talk to God, and He listens, and then we listen for His answers, which might come in quiet thoughts or feelings. Think about when you talk to your best friend about your day, your worries, or your dreams. That's kind of what prayer is like with God. It's a personal relationship, and prayer is how we grow closer to Him. Now, let's look at what a really wise saint, Saint Catherine of Siena, had to say about prayer. Saint Catherine of Siena, a super smart and holy woman, wrote a whole book called The Dialogue, where she talked a lot about prayer. She saw prayer as a way to truly know ourselves and to know God better. She believed that when we pray, we're not just asking for things, we're actually changing ourselves and becoming more like Jesus. It's like when you practice a sport or an instrument. The more you do it, the better you get, and the more you understand it. St. Catherine's teachings help us see that prayer is a powerful tool for growing in our faith. She also talked about different ways we can pray, which we'll explore next. St. Catherine taught us about two main types of prayer: vocal prayer and mental prayer. Vocal prayer is what we usually think of, like saying the Our Father or Hail Mary out loud, or even just talking to God in your own words. The CCC teaches that mental prayer engages the thought, imagination, emotion, and desire. To do this, you can follow these simple steps. 1. Prepare. Find a quiet place. Recognize that God is with you and ask for His help. 2. Read. Read a short Bible passage or a spiritual book slowly. 3. Meditate. Stop at a word or idea that touches your heart. Think about what it means for your life. 4. Converse. Speak freely to God like a friend. Express your love, sorrow, or requests. 5. Commit. Make a real, practical resolution to change your actions or grow in virtue. Mental prayer is the fuel of the spiritual life. The CCC recommends doing it daily to deepen your relationship with God. Both types of prayers are super important. Sometimes we might feel distracted during mental prayer, and that's okay. We just gently bring our minds back to God. It's all about trying our best. But what happens when prayer feels hard or we don't feel like doing it? That's where perseverance comes in. Sometimes prayer can feel like a chore, or we might get distracted, or even feel like God isn't listening. That's totally normal, and it happens to everyone. But St. Catherine reminds us about the gift of perseverance. Perseverance means sticking with it, even when it's tough. Think about when you're learning a new skill, like playing a video game or a sport. You don't give up just because it's hard at first, right? You keep practicing. Prayer is the same way. The more we persevere, the stronger our connection with God becomes, and the more we'll experience the joy and peace that come from talking with Him. It's a gift that helps us grow closer to God every day. Next, we'll talk about how to make prayer a daily habit. Today, we're going to talk about how to make prayer a regular part of your day, just like brushing your teeth. Last time, we talked about never giving up, and that's super important for prayer too. Sometimes it feels hard to pray, right? Maybe you're busy with work or friends, or you just don't know what to say. But St. Catherine reminds us that even a little bit of prayer done often is better than a lot of prayer done only once in a while. like practicing for a sport. A little bit every day makes you much better than one long practice a month. So let's explore how we can fit prayer into our busy lives, even when it feels tricky. Do you sometimes find it hard to make time for prayer? Now, let's chat about this a bit more.
All right, let's open this up for discussion. We just talked about making prayer a daily habit, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What are some things that make it hard for you to pray every day? Maybe it's distractions, or you feel shy, or you just don't know where to start. And on the flip side, what helps you remember to pray? Maybe you have a special time or place, or you pray with your family. There are no wrong answers here, and it's okay to share what's really on your mind. St. Catherine teaches us that God is always listening, even when we feel like we're just mumbling. So let's share our experiences and learn from each other as we discuss the following questions. 1. What is your biggest challenge when it comes to prayer? 2. Catherine emphasizes prayer as a conversation. How can you make your prayer time more of a two-way dialogue? And 3. What does continual prayer look like in a practical sense for a layperson today? Okay, so we've talked about making prayer a daily habit and shared some of our struggles and successes. Now it's time for this week's challenge. This week, I want you to try and find just 5 minutes each day for quiet prayer. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't need to say fancy words. You can just sit quietly and talk to God in your own way, or just listen. St. Catherine reminds us that even a short, heartfelt prayer is powerful. Think of it like a quick check-in with a friend. You can do it when you wake up, before bed, or even during a break at work. Let's see if we can all make a little more space for God this week. Are you up for the challenge? Next, we'll talk about some reading that can help you with this.